Welcome to the Job Analyser tutorial movie. We'll look at how to open the program, the layout of the dashboard, how to import estimates, and how to access all the reports and information. Let's get started. First, we'll open the program. Click the Easy Price Pro icon to open the main program menu. Click on the Job Analyser. The program opens. We're on the main dashboard. Any imported quotes will be shown down here. Here's the key. If something is highlighted grey, then the information has been imported from a quote. If you see a red box, you may need to enter costs. Blue boxes are where you can enter payments. A yellow box will contain an option for you to select. Before we can fully utilise the program, we do need to import the estimates so the program can analyse them. Click the Import button. A form opens. Click the program that the quote you want to import was prepared in. You can import any estimates that have been prepared in the New Houses and Extensions or Total Bill programs. You can import as many estimates as you want. Let's click the NHE. The NHE folder that's within your Clients folder will automatically open. If you do not save your quotation in this default location, you'll need to navigate to the location on your machine where your quotations are saved. Double-click on the quotation you want to import. A message will come up that says Loading, please wait. If the quote you're importing was prepared in an earlier version of the NHE, then it's worth minimising the Job Analyser and checking that the welcome box for the NHE isn't holding up the import. The Job Analyser will also bring up this message asking you to check if the import is taking too long. If you can see that an NHE form is open, click OK on the message from the Job Analyser and click the Continue button on the form from the NHE to close it. The import process will then be able to continue. When the file has been imported, you'll get a success message. Click OK. When a quote is brought into the Job Analyser, it will be shown here on the dashboard. Each imported quote will be broken down into columns and be made up of 2 rows. The top row contains the quoted information. The bottom row is where the actual information for the job can be entered. The first column shows the client name and the program the quote was prepared in. Next, you can see if this is the quoted or actual costs. The direct costs for the job are shown next. The quoted row shows the direct costs that were within the imported quote. The actual row contains a red box. Here is where the actual direct costs for the jobs are entered, if or when the job is in progress or completed. The same format applies to the overheads column. The quoted overhead costs are shown, and there is a red box where the actual overheads for the job can be entered, if or when the job is in progress or completed. The profit and loss column is here. The quoted profit or loss value is shown, and the Job Analyser will calculate the actual profit or loss for you when you enter in the actual direct costs and overheads for the job. The next column holds the total quoted and payment information. In the quoted row, the number will be the total quote value. In the actual row, you enter the financial value of payments that have been received. If a job is in progress, you can update this box as and when payments are received. If a job is completed, make sure that all the financial for the received payments is included. The status column is next. This is a drop-down menu. When you import a quote, you must select the relevant status for it. The status will determine how the Job Analyser allocates the financial information for that quote in its reports. Click on the drop-down to select if the imported quote has been lost, pending, one not started, in progress, or completed. If you select in progress or the completed status, the actual cost information needs to be entered into the direct cost, overheads, and payment boxes in the actual row for the quote. So if the job's in progress, you just keep adding on any financial values that are taken or received. The status for the job can be adjusted at any time. The start date and completion date for the job is shown here. If the quote is imported and the report buttons within the quote have not been clicked, then you will get the text Schedule Not Run. To rectify this, you'll need to remove the quote from the Job Analyser by clicking the Trash Can button. Open the quote, run the reports, and import it into the program again. The date that the quote was imported into the Job Analyser is shown here. The final column is where you have the option to delete a quote from the Job Analyser. Click the trash can and it will be removed. You can always re-import quotes at a later date if required. To recap, to import a quote, click this button. Choose the program that the quote was prepared in. Double-click on the quote you want to import. When a job is imported, it will be placed here. The quote will have two rows. One will show the quoted costs and payments. The other is where the actual costs and actual payments can be entered. For the Job Analyser to generate accurate reports, we must select a status for the job. If the status selected is in progress or complete, the actual costs that have been paid out and the actual payments that have been received for the job need to be entered in these boxes. If the job is in progress, add to these as the money comes in and the money goes out. If we want to delete a quote from the Job Analyser, click the trash can. Let's look at the other options on the dashboard. Here we can see the overall column totals for all the quotes that have been imported. We can see the quoted value of direct costs, overheads, total cost, profit and loss, and the total quote amount. Below, we can view the totals for the actuals, so these are any of the imported quotes that have the status of in progress or completed and have had actual costs and payments entered in. Here is the total number of quotes that have been imported. Here we can see which status of jobs this information is referring to. Currently, it's set to show the overview for all status types. If we adjust this drop-down menu here and select Completed, this information will now just show the details for completed jobs. We'll notice that only the completed jobs are now being displayed on the dashboard. This is so handy if you want to look at specific details. We've already looked at the key. If you click this button, you'll be taken to this movie that's located on our website. You will need to be connected to the internet to use this button. Here you can see the currency that you want to work in. This button will print the information. Your computer will need to be connected to a printer for this button to work. There is also an Export to Excel button. Click it and a window will open. Make sure it is in the location you want to save the information and give the file a name. This will save the details that have been imported into an Excel file. It will look like this. At the top of the dashboard, you can access all the reports that the Job Analyser has to offer. Before you begin viewing the reports, make sure the date range meets your requirements. Tell the Job Analyser the date range you want to look into. Use these date boxes here. By default, unless you change it, it will set itself to the earliest and latest date of the imported quotes. If you want to see a particular date range, for example, you may want to see how the business did last year, or gain insight into the forecast for the coming year, just set the dates. When these dates are set, only the imported quotes that fall within this date range will be analysed in the reports. Let's recap. The dashboard is where the details for the imported quotes are held. The key for the dashboard can be found here. Here you can see the quantity of quotes that have been imported. You can adjust the view by changing which status you want to look at. You can use these buttons to view the movie, adjust the currency, and print the details on the dashboard. The information on the dashboard can be exported to Excel. All the reports can be accessed from the dashboard by clicking the report buttons here. Before you access the reports, make sure the date range meets with your requirements. Okay, so we've now looked in detail at what each of the columns on the dashboard are for. So we'll now look at all the reports that can be accessed. Before accessing the reports, ensure all the quotes you want to analyse have been imported and that any actual figures for jobs in progress or completed jobs have been entered. Make sure the date range is set to your preferences. To view the reports, use the clearly marked buttons. Each report has a blue info icon that will provide detail about the report if required. The Job Analyst Report is here. Click the button to view the information. This is a bar chart. Here the quoted costs and any actual costs for each job can be seen. The bar chart is colour-coded and this is the key. Quoted costs are shown And if actual costs have been entered for a job, it's a fast way to see if the actual costs are above, below, or in line with what's been quoted, and the impact this has had on the profit margin. If you see that you're running at a loss or losing potential profits with this information, you can act quickly with a view to resolving any shortfalls by understanding how they occurred. To close this report, click Home, and you're taken back to the dashboard. Let's click the next report. Remaining work value shows you the financial value of work the business has secured but has not yet brought in via payments from clients. So this will include the financial information for jobs that are won but not started, and the financial value of any money that has not been entered into the actual costs or payment boxes on jobs that are marked as in progress. The date range for this report can be seen here. The text explanation here explains in detail how this report works. This is a really useful report for business forecasting, as you can see the value of the work you have lined up. It can assist with investment decisions, and if the figure isn't as high as you want, you can put more of your resources into activities that will help secure further work. To exit this report, click Home. Let's click the In Progress report. This report shows you the financial value of any of the jobs that have been given an in progress status. It's a colour-coded chart, and the key is here. The next report is the pending report. Click the button. Here we can see the quoted financial value of all jobs with a pending status. A status of pending means the client has not accepted or declined the quote that you've provided. This report is a good indicator of the work that your business could potentially bring in, and can be used to establish if follow-ups to customers who have yet to accept or decline need to be made. You can also use it to gauge if you should be working to get more inquiries in and quotes out, so more potential work is in the pipeline. To close this report, click Home. The completed work report's here. When you click the completed report, you can see the actual direct and overhead costs and profit loss figures for any jobs that have the completed status and are within the date range that has been selected. This report can give you a clear idea of how the jobs your business has completed have done. You can then use this information to replicate successes or get on top of things if they're not showing you the figures that you had expected. You also have a further report on this screen that shows you the ratio of jobs that have been won. This report will be based on the date range selected and the estimator or estimators selected. Keeping note of these figures is really useful, as when you have enough data, you can begin to understand how many jobs your business needs to price to secure a job. It also means you can look for ways to improve upon this. To close this report, click Home. Let's click the Estimators Report button. If you have more than one estimator producing quotations for you, this report is invaluable. When you import a quote, if the estimator's name was included in the quotation details page, it will be brought into the analyzer. This report shows the breakdowns for each estimator based on the date range selected. You can see the financial value of the work they've quoted and see the status breakdown for the jobs they have priced. Instantly, you can see which estimators are securing the work, who has jobs pending or in progress, and who isn't losing jobs. This information can assist you in the effective management of your estimators, as at a glance you can see who is performing and who may need further guidance and help. The clear format and concise financial data means there is nowhere for anyone to hide or be overlooked. To close this report, click Home and we're taken back to the dashboard. The overview report can be viewed by clicking this button. This user-friendly pie chart shows the financial value and percentage of work allocated to the different status options. This report draws together the information from all quotes that are within the date range that has been selected. At a glance, you can see how the work you're pricing is doing and make appropriate business decisions as necessary. For example, if you see that you have a lot of work that is won but not started, you can check that you're going to have the necessary manpower available to you. If you don't have a great deal of work that is either pending or won, not started, or in progress, you may want to increase your marketing activities to bring more potential clients your way. If you seem to be losing a lot of work you're quoting, you can look into why that might be and be proactive on turning things around. To close this report, click Home and we return to the dashboard. We've taken a detailed look at each of the reports. Let's recap. Import all the estimates that you want to analyse. Select their status using the drop-down menu. Enter the actual direct and overhead costs and any received payments for jobs that have the in progress or completed status. Now select the date range you want to view when generating reports. Click the report buttons and view the data. As we've seen, the Job Analyser is very user-friendly and it can provide you with invaluable information about how your business is doing. The instant nature of the reporting means you're in the best position to make informed commercial decisions quickly. If you require any further assistance and have a support pack in place, please call the support team and select the support option. They'll be happy to help. If you don't have a support pack and would like to get one, then please call and select the sales option. The sales team will be happy to assist.